All right. Welcome, DoorGrow hackers, to the DoorGrow show. If you are a property management entrepreneur that wants to add doors, make a difference, increase revenue, help others, impact lives, and you are interested in growing your business and life, and you are open to doing things a bit differently, then you are a DoorGrow hacker. DoorGrow hackers love the opportunities, daily variety, unique challenges, and freedom that property management brings. Many in real estate think you're crazy for doing it, and you think they're crazy for not, because you realize that property management is the ultimate high trust gateway to real estate deals, relationships, income. At DoorGrow, we are on a mission to transform property management businesses and their owners. We want to transform the industry, eliminate the BS, build awareness, change perception, expand the market, and help the best property management entrepreneurs win. I'm your host, property management growth hacker Jason Hull, the founder of Open Potion, Gather Kudos, Thunder Local, and of course, DoorGrow. Now let's get into the show. And today I have hanging out here with me Mark Brandt from FilterEasy. Mark, welcome to the show.
Good to be here. Thanks for having us.
So Mark, where are you at right now?
So I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, our headquarters over here. So we're stationed out of the Carolinas, but I'm in Texas a lot of the time. There's a lot of property managers see me a lot, but currently I'm stationed at headquarters in Raleigh.
All right, great. So how's the weather over there right now?
It's beautiful. 70, between 70 and 75 degrees today. So it's nice.
Okay,
nice walk or run, and all is good.
Spring's here. Yeah. All right, cool. So Mark, tell me about how FilterEasy kind of came about, and maybe you could then. I want to hear about the background of it and then what it is.
Yeah. So FilterEasy actually. So it goes back a little bit before FilterEasy. I started working. I've been a business development mind, sales mind, and was involved with another organization right out of college, Cutco, the knife business, and it has a big realtor business too, a closing gift business. But started that and grew that, and actually recruited a rep who ended up being one of my top managers and guys. And then upon our dispersal from the company, Thad Tarkington, went and actually started FilterEasy in 2012 with a buddy of his who was in college at NC State. And it just started with a simple need. They got a filter, and his buddy complained on not remembering to change it. It was hard to find the right size. And that initial conversation, just casual conversation, led to one idea, which led to another idea, and which grew. So over the years, they started as a home subscription service, e-commerce, to where we ship filters just to homeowners, because homeowners, it's tough to find the right size. It's tough to remember to change your home air filter. So that's been a service we've offered from the start, and we have grown that to cover all 50 states and into Canada. And in 2015, I was doing some other businesses, and then came back to Thad, who had the previous relationship, and helped him and another gentleman, Tyler Williams, which a lot of property managers know, initiate and grow the property management side of the business. So it's a similar concept as our home business, shipping filters to people on the day you're supposed to be changed.
Okay.
And then we actually had one of our clients who was a NARPM member. And for those of you who are not on NARPM, National Association of Residential Property Managers, wonderful organization. And they actually invited us to become a vendor with them. So we jumped headfirst in with them and have grown the property management side over the last 4 years, from 2015. And have done well in that. So that's basically how we've gotten here. It's a long story short. Just two guys with an idea, and have gotten a lot of financing from outside investors. I know they travel the country recruiting angel investors, and got a lot of good minds in it, and we've grown that pretty significantly.
Great. So explain then this PM side of FilterEasy. How does this work?
Yeah, so the property management side is a special program. We're really, kind of pioneered it. for us to do it really like we've done it. And it's a really simple concept in service. So, the need, it begins with a need. And we all know that tenants just don't change air filters for several reasons. Laziness, which we all can be. People don't remember. It's just not something you think about every day. There are a lot of things to think about. Changing your home air filter is not one of the top things. So a lot of people forget. Another reason is people just can't find the right size. They get frustrated and they go to the store and they say the heck with it. Homeowners do this, so tenants are much more likely to do it because they don't have vested interest in the property. They're going to be in and out. So very, very low rate of actually getting this done. So we've addressed this by just simply placing the filter in their hand. We ship the filter the exact size on the exact day they're supposed to be changed. So they get an in-hand reminder, shows up at their door. It comes with the property manager logo on the box. So really it's from the property manager to the tenant side, not from us. With a message directing the tenant, hey, save or change the filter and save some money on the utility bill. And expiration dates we also stamp on the filters. So this puts the property manager in a whole lot better position, and their team, their inspection team, when they're doing their walkthroughs of holding the tenant accountable. They can see whether they got the right filter in at the right time. Because now you can go into a home, the filter's caked up with dust and mold and everything, and you can get on to them and they can say, look, you're getting on to me. The system's broken down. I know it looks bad, but I changed it 3.5 weeks ago. There's no way really to prove what they did or didn't. So it helps take care of that burden of proof. So really it's a simple concept. You're just getting the filter in their hand the day of change. Your logo's on the box, branding, expiration dates. It just takes the laziness out. It takes the reminder, forgetting out. And of course, not finding the right size at the store. They don't have to search. It's all shipped to them. So that's how our service works. That's how it's basically done.
Great. So, I mean, it sounds like you guys put a lot of thought into how you can figure out how to motivate these tenants.
Yeah. So we've worked extensively with property managers, actually, especially getting it going. I actually toured the country. Literally, I've been to over 30 NARPM chapter meetings. I've been all the way from Philly down the eastern seaboard to Texas, to Boise, Idaho, to all the Seattle area property managers, to California, to Arizona. And we've really listened to the need, mano a mano versus just market research. We went out and listened to the need from property managers. We got intimate awareness. And each part of the country has different climates. Not everybody has the same, is running ACs the exact same, or furnaces is the exact same as others. So we've got a really intimate knowledge and awareness of what's going on because we went out there and checked it out. We listened to property managers, and we've actually scaled our business based upon that. So we've grown it pretty well. We've got a pretty good handle, and we're continuing to grow and scale. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I like what you're saying about how you did your market research and doing it one-on-one. And me coming into the property management industry, I sort of fell into that accidentally. I mean, I was really trying to figure out how to help these property managers win and figure out how to help them do a website. And so I would ask a lot of questions. And it was the same thing. It was one-on-one. And what's funny is since then, since we've kind of established ourselves fairly solidly in the market, we've gotten a lot of people that reach out to me, different potential vendors in the property management space that have like no clue about the industry. Like they really don't know what like I had a company come to me and they're like, we have figured out how to generate leads for property managers and we should work together with you. And I was like, great, this sounds awesome. Tell me about it. They're like, we figured out how to help them all get tenants. And I was like, you don't know my target audience. They don't seem to have problems getting tenants. They want more clients. And they're like, well, aren't tenants their clients? And I was like, Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah, and that probably could have been solved by talking to one property manager, like one person in their target audience. And so it's funny that companies will develop a whole product before even doing any sort of research. So this was really born out of a direct to consumer need. And then you shifted into actually doing boots on the ground direct interviews and
Right.
and talking with property managers, which is the smartest way to do product research. And anybody that's listening that's an entrepreneur, if you want to know what the tenants and or owners in your market are looking for, you just need to talk to them. And so this happens naturally in business, but usually when we become corporations, we get larger, we lose sight of that and we do crazy stuff like focus groups and things where everybody's giving us bad feedback, and we just need to talk to people. So I like that. So on the, you mentioned that the direct to consumers is all throughout. How PM side currently?
Yeah, we serve the
What's your
same
reach?
area. Yeah, the same area. So we actually have
Okay.
partners all the way from Florida to Alaska currently. And we can reach even into Canada there as well. So we have pretty big reach. So we can cover a wide range, everybody really in the country.
Okay, great. Now, when you say partners, are you talking about your client base, or you have partners that are helping to deliver the service?
Yeah, our client base, property managers, in all areas. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, love it. So, what are some of the things that your clients have noticed after implementing FilterEasy in their business versus before?
Right.
What's some of the feedback that you generally
So
are
what's
getting?
important to note is when we went out and found the need, really felt the need, because we were, like you said, doing listening to people one-on-one. We wanted to make this program a win-win for everybody. So we talk about the end user needs, the tenant. Yeah, we're providing a lot of really good value for the tenant, and the fact that we're giving them convenience, which is really important, especially in nowadays culture. You got the Amazon ship culture, the Dollar Shave Club culture, the millennial culture, which is growing towards the online grocery shopping thing. So we wanted to fit what was going on in the marketplace, but we wanted to make a value to everybody: the property manager, the tenant, and the owner. For the tenant, we provided them with the convenience, with the understanding that, hey, if we can help eliminate the barriers to change, they'll actually do it. To give them product they're supposed to get at a store, the right quality of filter, okay, versus any other quality they could go get, which could be harmful for the system. Save them money on the utility bill, because changing that filter can save you a decent amount of money, up to $20 or more in a lot of markets a month. And then healthy home. But for the owner, saving the breakdown cost. Now, as far as results, we've actually noticed very significant results. We've run this program for a few years with property managers, and they've actually have some data that they've actually reported to us. And based off using our program and implementing our program, we've gotten reports from 25 to 30 to up to 60% reduction on the previous year's HVAC problems or furnace problems, which is a pretty big.
Well, okay, say that again. Say that again.
Yeah. So based off the feedback we've gotten from property managers who've reported us via document, actually, we've noticed a 25-30%. We've even had one establish a 60% reduction on the previous year's HVAC breakdowns, furnace breakdowns, because of the simple service of changing your filter. If you don't change your filter, then there's decreased airflow, compressors can burst, the system breaks down. It's the number one way to service your home unit, which a lot of people forget. That's why they get frozen coils, breakdowns. Repair costs are $300 to $400. Replacement costs are $5,000 to $6,000. These aren't cheap. This is one of the owner's most expensive investments in their home. So if we can help extend the life of a unit, a $5,000 or $6,000 unit, from 10 or 11 years to 18 to 19 years or more, it's a big win for the owner. And of course, for the tenant, we're providing those four values of convenience, We're saving them money in utility bill. We're also giving them clean, healthy home for their healthy air for their family and product. Then we make it a win for them, and then there's less problems the property manager has to deal with. So we feel like we've hit all three, and of course, continuing to get better and stronger.
And so the tenants, so let's say you've got really lazy tenants, because some people are thinking, man, my tenants, you ship something to their doorstep, they're going to open it up, they're going to throw it in the garage,
Right.
and they're not going to pay attention. So you had mentioned that you have a note usually that mentions they'll save money on their utility bill. So that's one way to drive them if they're economically motivated, right? Is there any other things that can be done or to motivate these tenants to like get these filters in place as quick as possible?
Well, along with the in-hand reminder and the note, a lot of property managers have even some more stricter accountability programs. The fact they're going out and getting a filter for the tenant, there's really no excuse. So that's one of the cool things is what we've noticed is, can you guarantee 100% of tenants will actually change the filter? No, you can't. The only way you can do this is by doing it yourself. And we all know that that's unfeasible for a lot of people as far as cost, managing people to do that, which is another element, and then time and all that. So the only other way that you can really guarantee, the best way, we feel like it's our program. So what we tell people is, probably right now you have 10 or 15% that are really good about doing it, maybe 20 or so, somewhere in there. They're really good about do it on time.
On their own without
FilterEasy, the way it's in. Basically, you put it in the lease. I call it the hope and pray method because it's really what you're doing. 10 to 15%. What we say is, with our program, you're going to take it 10 to 15%. You're going to take it up to 75, 80%. Okay, maybe not 85. That's going to save you a lot on the problems, which has been reported. So the data supports the savings. Now, the question is, what is about the 10 or 15% who still don't do it? What do you do about them? Right. So what's cool about this is the program sets you up for success in getting a lot more people to change it, but it also sets you up for success to have easier conversations with the tenant and hold them accountable. Because now, look, I've gone out of my way to get you the filters. Okay, you don't have to go to the store. You don't have to find the right size. We're getting them to you. You don't have to think about it. Okay, we're putting you in a position to save you money, make your air clean, and you're still not doing this. And a lot of property managers, obviously it's up to the property manager, they've actually, because of this program, have been able to more easily hold them accountable, especially with expiration dates. They can go in and view whether they got the right filter in or not. And some will actually increase their fines or other means that but it's just an easier conversation. There's really no excuse not to change it now. So that's kind of where, if you look at it from a big picture, that's kind of how the value of the program.
I have an idea for you, a psychological idea. So there's this principle. Have you ever heard of the Pareto principle?
I have. Is that the 80-20?
No, well, Pareto, I believe the Pareto principle, if I'm thinking of the right one, is maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one, but it's the idea that time will take the amount that's allotted. And so people will use up, here I'm going to Google it to make sure, but people will use up the amount of time that that is needed or that is given to them. Oh no, that's the 80-20 rule. I'm thinking of the wrong principle.
I looked up Pareto about a couple weeks ago.
It's not Pareto. I can't remember it, but Mike McAlwitz, who was on my show, I think, was talking about it. But and on my Profit First episode, but it's basically the idea or the concept that we will eat or use all the time that's allotted to us. And so I would imagine you've got an expiration date on it. If the note that went to them said this needs to be installed within 3 days time or something like that, just as a reminder, that might increase that percentage just slightly, because then they have this deadline.
Well, and what's interesting about that is, property managers is kind of natural in their leases.
Yeah,
that their own,
they put that in there.
Yes, in the lease. So, that's the deadline's there. That they will change it, and that's what's cool about the program is, of course, since they signed that lease, it's there. Now we also, I didn't mention this, but we also, part of it, we send an in-hand reminder, but the tenants also get a notification email from us. The filters come in their way. It's a notification email. Okay. There's tracking involved with all this. So everybody's aware.
Yeah.
And so, tenants get it based off data. We're seeing definitely they get it. There's been definite increase, but we're all like I said, from our original way about doing business, we're always open to hearing from property managers, always open to hearing from people about how we can grow and get better. Because our goal is to be the standard in property management. This is the way you change filter. If you're a residential property manager, this is the way you do it. So that's our goal. Obviously, anything we can do, as I go out and tell property managers, anything we can do, report to us, let us know. Any ideas, we welcome them.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds like a no-brainer. I am sure property managers are figuring out how to turn this into a profit center, a way to make money. It could potentially be an upsell to the tenant. It potentially could be something that that they pass on to the owner as part of a maintenance guarantee or program. So, and that was called Parkinson's Law. It's Parkinson's Law was what it was.
On that, what's cool is not only are we getting results from a functional standpoint, people are actually changing their filters. We have built it to be a profit center too. So that's another thing that people like, the ancillary profit stream. And what we tell property managers, we can help solve the issue, create a win-win for everybody from the operational front. We can also get you an extra $30 to $50 per door per year. That's even a bigger win-win. And with the climate of the industry, and I've heard a lot of regional property manager leads talk about this. A lot of big fish are getting in the business. A lot of people are becoming better. A lot of people are scaling their business. A lot of these programs that weren't here 20, 25 years ago are becoming necessary now for providing more operating capital to grow, and B, competitive advantages. We've actually heard from property managers who have, obviously getting tenants and retaining tenants, providing services, but also attracting more owners with services like ours and others out there too. There's plenty of other vendors. I think Citizen Home Solutions, AccuTrack, there's a lot of things out there that's awesome to use. And On-Site Pros, all those. So we've noticed that property managers told us, hey, look, when I've had an owner look at two different companies, ours and another one, this was the differentiator. Okay. This set us apart, and this is why they chose us. And a lot of them reporting, hey, out of a lot of the programs we promoted owners, this has been our favorite, because the owner knows, look, they're protecting us, a $5,000 or $6,000 investment. I want to protect it. So, from all sides, and definitely the profit side, we can help property managers implement this. We have all the resources to help them implement this successfully. They can contact us one-on-one for that. But yeah, the profit stream, the functionality for programs like ours and others out there too.
I think one of the hidden benefits of this that I think is brilliant is that it's being sent with a note, and the property managers can customize how these notes look or what they say.
So we have a standard message, and what it reads is, dear resident, your filters are inside. Please change them immediately and save 5 to 15% off your heat and cooling bill. That's the generic. That's your standard.
Cool.
Okay.
And it has the logo.
Yeah, property management logo on it. If a property manager, wanted to have something specific, we could set it up.
So that's simple enough. So what I love about this is that it's keeping your property management business top of mind with these tenants. And so it's creating a positive perception in their mind. Like they see that something's actively being done in tangible reality, that they, something corporal that they can touch, that is evidence that you're taking care of them. It's like getting this gift in the mail that helps them live in their home. And so, and this comes, periodically. And so it's a reminder to the tenants that they're being cared for. And so I think little things like that go a long way to create perception about a company.
Yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah. And what I tell property managers is, on top of everything else, they get to see your branding and they get that experience. They're getting something from you. You're helping them out. You're making their life more convenient, and your logo's right there. And you're saving them money, because the message is saying, look, change it, and this is going to save you money. So they're appreciative of you. Hey, thank you for this. Thank you for helping me save money. So from a tenant perception, they enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think it also, I mean, same thing when it goes to owners. This is a great excuse to reach out to your owners and just that you could include it in the list of all the things you've done to take care of the property over the previous year, just to remind them how great you guys are. Or you can send them a notice saying, "Hey, we just sent out the filters to to the property, and they're putting them in to make sure we're protecting your asset." So it just gives you a positive excuse to be noisy with your owners in a positive way, to remind them that you're taking care of things. So I had a job doing IT related stuff. Like I worked as a contractor at Hewlett Packard. I worked at Verizon as well, in a call center for a while. And one of the things I noticed, and then before that, I was at the company doing like actual IT on like networks and stuff. The one thing I noticed about being in IT is that if you do your job amazingly well, nobody notices. Like nobody cares. And and if things don't go well, everybody thinks you're doing it wrong, right? And so I recognized that I needed to be noisy. I had a boss when I was at HP that was down in Texas, and the guy just assumed that we did nothing all day long. So all day long, I would like send him little updates as to what I was doing through a messenger, or change my status saying what I was working on, so that he would get off my back. And I realized he then started thinking he was asking me about my teammates. Are they working? How are they doing? And it just changed that perception. I think that the fact that you can use something this simple to as an excuse to let tenants and owners know that you're taking care of their investment, it can go a long way towards the perception of your business. And it's all those little things that create a perception. Because one little bad thing, which is inevitable, which will eventually happen with maybe every property, one little bad thing, that may be their only perception of the company since they last started with you. And so I love that idea. And the more things like that you can add, I'm sure the better. So cool. So what else should people know about FilterEasy? Any other top like frequently asked questions that people ask you during the sales process, or that helps people make the decision? What else might they be curious about that are listening to this?
Well, a lot of, one main thing I get is, well, we already provide filters for tenants.
Okay. So we already do the filter
thing. This is a common one. And, I'll just address this one. So, we provide a year supply of filters beforehand, or the owner does, and they still don't change them. So how would we expect them to change them with FilterEasy? Well, now it's a lot easier for us to answer that because we got data to show differences. However, just from a pure understanding and logistical standpoint, we actually agree that doesn't work. That method that they're referring to doesn't work, and there's a big difference in between that and what we do. So if you give them a year supply of filters up front, if you give them a pack of 12 or whatever, okay, they're probably going to change it maybe that first time, okay, but the rest are going to go in a closet or somewhere, and they're going to forget they're there, okay? So somebody has gone out of their way, taken their time, wasted their time, and somebody's wasted their money, okay? So that's a big loss. That's definitely not a method that's recommended. So the difference in what we do is, A, nobody spends time going and getting anything. You or your own. But B, the in-hand reminder, the email we send out as well, in providing that in-hand reminder to change them, which has really produced the results. The in-hand reminder is the big part because people forget. So if you're buying them a pack of 12, you're supplying it for them. Yeah, you might be going out of might be eliminating that step of too lazy to go get them, but you're not eliminating the forgot. So, and that's the bigger one. So that is that's one of the common ones we get. And then also is just understanding the market. I know property management is a very traditional business, but we have leaders emerging that are showing the way and providing ancillary value and providing awesome service to tenants and owners. Even if you just are a service person, if you care about your people, you're always looking for ways to make their experience better. So it becomes a passion. It becomes a vision versus just a hobby. Finding programs like us or anybody or finding programs as us or anybody like us are important. Opening your mind, growing your business, finding what outside the box ways to serve people. So, it's stepping out of the tradition, stepping outside the box, and growing with the times, growing with the culture, and then providing awesome service to your people. So,
yeah. You're either going to compete on value or you're going to compete on price. And competing on price is a painful, channel to go down. So I love it. So increasing the value. And then what you had mentioned before, just the note and the simple act of there being a note, including something in the lease. I mean, there's psychological motivators there that are going to get people to take action over just sending them filters and just having some sort of threat in the initial lease. They need a reminder. What I think is funny is there's a lot of property managers, and I think these are only the inexperienced ones, but they give them a lease and assume that they're going to read it and assume that they understand everything in it and assume that they're going to live by it. But really, any sort of contract or agreement only really tends to matter when there's a legal issue. Like it matters afterwards when there's a problem. And so it's a device you can use to, like, they only use as recourse or to come at them legally, but by then it's too late. And so this really needs to be something that's explained, and I would imagine you guys tell them to do this, but I would say make sure when you put this into the lease and you're talking about making sure they change the filters and that they're going to be delivered to them and this sort of thing, that they just need to pop them in and put them in, that they go over this during the onboarding process with the tenant, because otherwise the tenant might, you can't just assume that they're going to read everything in the lease or care. Their first time around reading the lease will probably be like, are there any gotchas in here?
right.
They're not going to be paying attention to how can I be the best tenant ever?
Yeah, and as far as implementation, I know if a lot of the listeners out here are wondering, how exactly do you do this, get started and all that, you can contact us. Actually, I'll just go to me and we'll direct. So it's 864-770-3909. Again, that's 864-770-3909. You can also shoot a message, mark@filtereasy.com, mark@filtereasy.com. Again, and then the number once more time is 864-770-3909, mark@filtereasy.com. So, if you have any specific questions on implementation, we can help you one-on-one. We've got the resources to help you make this simple and smooth. And then, of course, answering other questions you have.
Roughly, how many property management companies do you guys have working with
Well,
you currently, do you think?
We have hundreds across the country. I don't know the specific amount. But
do you guys go outside of the U.S. at all currently?
We can. We have the capability to. And we are we can go to Canada. We don't have, I don't think we have anybody there yet. I could be mistaken. But we have the capabilities to really go into Canada and all 50 states.
Awesome. Okay, great. So Mark, I appreciate you coming on the show. I think this is a solid value add to what we're putting out there for property managers. So I appreciate you coming and sharing FilterEasy with us. And I wish you guys success.
Awesome. Thank you for having us, and I appreciate everybody's time.
All right. And those of you that are watching this, make sure you get inside the DoorGrow Club. Everybody there talks about the different vendors and shares secrets and talks about what's good and what isn't. And there's been positive feedback about FilterEasy in there for sure. So make sure you hop into doorgrowclub.com. That'll redirect to the Facebook group. And you have to apply to join. We only let the business owners in. So the rest of you, don't even worry about trying to apply. But if you are running a property management company, we want you in there. And we've created an awesome community of collaboration over competition. And that's really what the industry needs right now. So Mark, again, thanks for coming out on the show. And the rest of you, we will see you inside the DoorGrow Club. Bye, everybody.